Another team that won tonight that, questionable point guard play has been Michigan State. Now, they've won 9 straight. They're 14-2, 5-0 in the league. Didn't get a chance to play their rival Michigan last week because the Wolverines had some COVID issues. But, it takes a buzzer-beating shot from Hauser tonight to beat Minnesota at home. Max Christie's playing better. He's the guy that's probably got more talent than anybody else in the team. But let's face it, like Tyson Walker, you talk about that transfer list that I put together, Seth. Tyson Walker was high on that list. I had seen him a couple times in person at Northeastern. Absolutely loved him. But when you go up a level, and I did this last year, I did kind of a transfer breakdown from, the CAA to one of the Power 5 or 6 conferences. Usually you cut their numbers in half. Now, I thought Tyson Walker would be a guy that wouldn't apply to, and he could average 15 a game at Michigan State and be a high-level point guard. He has struggled. A.J. Hoggard has struggled. Michigan State's point guard problems, they're solid, but they're not really good like they've been, obviously, with Cassius Winston recently, and they don't have a star. So are you buying Michigan State as a team that can even make any real noise? Now, maybe they can win the Big Ten just because there's no dominant team in the Big Ten. We thought Purdue was that, but they're not that right now because their point guard play isn't great either. So, Seth, where do you stand with Michigan State?
Well, look, I mean, if you're telling me they can win the Big Ten, what you're saying is they can win the national championship. I mean, the Big Ten, whatever you want to say about it, if they're going to win the Big Ten, they're going to be good enough to win. Maybe that could be a favorite. But so that, that's just pointing out a little bit of a contradiction. I mean, look, they haven't played. If you look at their games, they had those close wins against Loyola and UConn. Obviously, they lost to Kansas and Baylor. No shame in that. Right. And they've won all these games against kind of Midland teams. And I got their schedule up here now. So they got a week from Friday at Wisconsin, and then the following Tuesday at Illinois. And even, Michigan at home, who knows what's going on with them. But those are the 2 big ones. I mean, at Wisconsin, at Illinois. If they can get a split in those 2 games, then I think we can believe in them a little bit more. And I actually think that Tyson Walker's playing pretty well. I mean, I didn't necessarily expect him to be a star, but I think between him and Hoggard, it's been interesting to watch Izzo. And the thing about Walker is he's shooting 57% from 3. So unlike Severe Wheeler, you can move him off the ball. And he had a key 3-pointer for them in the second half. So, and, in terms of a star,
he's definitely gotten better.
He's good. He's solid. Look, but I mean, look, to me, you're coming from Northeastern. I don't expect great things out of you. And so I think he's been solid. I think that Max Christie has star potential. Let's see where that goes. I think Malik Hall has star potential. Let's see where that goes. I think Gabe Brown has star potential. So I could see a game where all those guys are firing. Maybe star's a little bit strong for Gabe Brown, but collectively, I just like watching them play. I like the way, and even Joey Hauser tonight hitting that bucket because, let him throw some elbows and finish at the rim and be a garbage guy. Like whatever he's been doing the last couple of years hasn't been working. So the fact that he's buying into that, they got the bigs inside. So I think they're a solid team. Not great, but I think Izzo's taken worse teams to a Final Four. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, we definitely can. No, listen, you're not ruling out Tom Izzo with any team. And Marcus Bingham, we didn't mention him, but he's certainly gotten better, and he gives him a protector. So you're right. They've got a lot of good pieces. Akins, I think he's going to be he's a talented kid who's going to have his nights as well. I don't know. I don't love him. And when I was there in the preseason, I was just looking at him, and I'm like, where's your dude? Where's your dude? Because you don't really have one. Max Christie, I don't think he's got that alpha dog personality to want to be a dude. I think he's going to be a good NBA player because he can do this, and he's got really good size, and he can put it on the floor and get to the basket. I would love to see him be more assertive, and I know Izzo would too.
I'm from watching Tyson Walker early on. I thought he struggled because he was a scoring PG, and then he gets to Michigan State, and that's a hard thing to do. He just was so timid to me that was causing so much of his mistakes. I think he's getting better. I think he's getting more comfortable, understanding where his shots, learning when to pick his spots. And if he can continue to do that, we know they're going to defend, and we know they have an identity as well coached as any team in the country. They're going to be right there. I just think they just need him to be a game when they're struggling to be able to score. He doesn't need to average 15 or 20 points a game, but that one game, he's capable of doing that. And I think when they press that button or put him in a situation to do that, I think he's capable of doing it. I think his struggles just come so much from being so uncertain and timid about, let me just run the team, when his natural tendency is, you know what, I can go score it. And I think he struggled with that early on. And I just see improvement with that. And don't be surprised if they take the Big Ten title.
Michigan State or Purdue, guys? Who you taking? Big Ten title.
You go first, Randolph.
I
want to
say I want to say Purdue, and I'm going to stick with Purdue right now. But their point guard play scares the crap out of me. I'm terrified of their point guard play. They seem that of the three best players, two of them play the same position. They can't play them together.